Life is a long highway and I'm just doing the best I can.
Blanchard Rogers Edition, presented by Ellison Kibler Merrill Lynch.
Special thanks to Gordon Whitaker.
Welcome back to the Straight Line to Success. So excited for this Blanchard Rogers edition. These are the best football players in or from South Carolina. And we also have Mikey Football with us in studio today. Of course, Mike Foster has been a bedrock of the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame and Wyatt Sports and Entertainment. He is a master of evaluating talent, understanding how it's going to fit in different systems, and really has been spectacular to have around, and appreciate Mikey being in today. But, you know, the star of this show is our new friend and incredible athlete, player, ambassador for the state of South Carolina State's own. Welcome in, Jordan Smith. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you for having me. How y'all doing?
Yeah, man, doing great. So glad to have you in here. And you are a wide receiver just coming off a spectacular year. National champions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, you know, again, on the Straight Line of Success, we're trying to bring out stories like your own, and also try to get to some of the secrets to your success. We believe, you know, you can shortcut success. There's really no shortcuts to success, but if you can kind of learn from others and have mentors and that kind of thing, it can be very helpful in getting you where you want to be.
Yes, sir.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions about your success?
Of course.
Well, great. Well, getting started here, let me just ask you this question. How do you define success?
How do I define success? I would say success is what you put in. You know, I always told myself, like, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. And so when I go into, you know, I think about games and kind of performing in games, I always got to go back to how I'm going to practice. Right. So the putting in for the practice is what I'm going to get in the game. So everything that you guys saw from the games and how I played and how I executed properly, that all came from practice, because I took practice serious and I kind of, you know, just went full speed in practice. So it just translated over to the game. That's what I would honestly say. Like, it's success. You have success from how you prepare.
That's awesome. So how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations again on your success. And, you know, talk a little bit about, you know, you grew up in South Carolina, and you have some family that influenced you. Tell us about your family. Anybody,
yeah.
You know, and how they impacted your success.
My family's great. There's a great support system. You know, my mom and dad has been everything for me. They taught me everything I know. They were born and raised in South Carolina as well. But they taught me everything I know.
What's their names again?
John and Manita Smith.
And they got a kind of interesting story too. When did they meet?
Yeah, so they met when they were 13. They actually lived in the same neighborhood. And from there, they went to the same middle school, the same high school. And I'm not sure when they kind of got together, but I know they did meet when they were 13. So, and they've been,
well, that's a great story.
Together ever since. So,
and your dad, he's also a football player and a coach.
Yes, sir. He played at Charleston Southern. He played wide receiver at Charleston Southern. He now coaches at Ridgeview High School, and he coaches the running backs.
And who else in your family?
My brother was actually one of the biggest kind of people I looked up to, because he was the one that kind of got to, you know, the high school and the college first. So, you know, he played at Westwood for some time, and then he transferred over to Ridgeview and played quarterback. He was so good that, you know, the coaches from Spring Valley put me at quarterback my 9th grade year.
Oh yeah, so you started as a quarterback. What's your brother's name again?
Jalen Smith.
Awesome.
Yes,
and I want to ask you about how you transferred from quarterback to wide receiver. But before I do, who else? You got any other brothers and sisters?
Yeah, Josh and Josh Smith and Morgan Smith. Josh is playing basketball right now in college at Johnson and Wales, and my younger sister, she's gonna be the best athlete in the family right now. She's actually into cheer right now. I know she wants to get into volleyball, but she does competitive cheer, so yeah,
That's
she's
cool.
pretty good.
And
Yeah,
what's her name?
Morgan Smith.
Shout out to Morgan. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
shout out to Morgan.
So, again, so you started out freshman playing quarterback, following in your brother's footsteps, but that wasn't for you. Transferred to wide receiver. How did you make that transition?
It was pretty easy, you know. I kind of always like looked up to Odell Beckham around that time from the one hand catch and everything like that. So when I saw him, I was like, receiver looks pretty fun, So it was kind of an easy transition. It was just I just needed the opportunity to kind of do it. My dad played receiver, so he knew a lot of information. So it was nothing for me to just go out and just kind of just seek knowledge from him. But yeah, when I made the transition to Ridgeview, I was supposed to play JV over there. My dad had got the head coaching job for JV at Ridgeview, and I was supposed to play JV. Went out to one practice. I ran a route. Coach Parks, he was the head varsity coach at the time. He saw me run a route, and he was like, "Oh no, you're going to varsity." So from there, it was history ever since.
That's super fantastic. And, South Carolina State, you've had, again, congratulations on a great year. National champions, had about 900 receiving yards, maybe 8 touchdowns. I think if I've got those stats right, I mean, that's some pretty daggum great production. And, you are walking in the footsteps of some other great athletes at South Carolina State. Of course, a lot of very well represented in the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. Coming over to South Carolina State, what was it like to get into that system and transition from high school to a big program like that?
I'll be honest, like when I first got to South Carolina State and, like we got into our first fall camp, it was kind of hard for me, because the physicality and the pace of the game, I had to get used to. And I'll never forget my first time we do this like little drill. We have to like kind of release drill against the defensive backs. And my first one was against the Kobe Durant. And I'm like, all right, okay, here goes nothing, So we line up. He jams me back probably to the bleachers. And I'm like, that was my welcome to college moment. And I'm like, all right, okay. Hey, this is what you wanted. You're gonna have to man up. So from there, I kind of redshirted. I redshirted, but I was still getting reps and everything like that. But when I redshirted, I'm always on the scout team with the defense. So every time I'm getting the line up against the Kobe. So sometimes I get the best of him. Most of the times he get the best of me. So like he always get me. But it was good for me because it helped shape me to who I am today and how I kind of see defenses and coverages and things like that. Just kind of just picking his brain. He was definitely a good teammate, good leader to look up to.
That's fantastic. Great mentor and, playing against the best. Iron sharpens iron. Mikey Football, I know you got a good question. Step in here and ask Mr. Smith something.
Yeah, Jordan. Hey, Kobe is no joke, man. He's a great player. Look, excited to watch him with the Rams, especially he played really well in the playoffs too.
Definitely.
Showed out. But speaking of someone who showed out, and you got the picture in your background with you in the poster and the national championship, but there's a reason for that. You completely took over in that game, especially in the second half. You had a quarterback change a little bit in that second half. What was there a moment, a message, someone who challenged you or inspired you to be like, you know what? This game's mine. I'm gonna take us home and we're gonna win this thing. What was your mindset in that moment? And of course he goes for 180 total yards, 3 touchdowns. No big deal.
I would have to say, like the whole game, I'm kind of just, the first half, really, like, I think I only touched the ball once, like maybe for like 5 yards. And so I've always had the mindset of just let the game come to me. When I got into the locker room for halftime, Coach Barry, after he let the team go, he called me back. He was like, "Hey son, like I'll take the blame. You know, you're our best player and you only touched the ball like once the whole half." He was like, "What can I do to get you the ball?" And I just told him some things that could kind of work, that would get me the ball and everything like that. And it did, you know, but who challenged me the most, I would probably say the Lord. You know, just praying before the game and kind of just my prayers is always give me the strength, give me the confidence to just go out here and do what I do, and play through me. And from there, when that whole half, the Lord was playing through me, the whole entire half. And I was just, you know, it was a very surreal moment, but I had to give him all the thanks and all the glory, all the honor and the praise after, because without him, like that wouldn't have been possible, you know? So just trusting, letting the game come to you. That was probably one of the biggest things for me. Not once did I ever put my head down when we were down 21-0. It was just more so, you okay? You've
That's
been
incredible.
Yeah. So
That's incredible, Jordan. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you know, in sort of that same vein, let's say that you know there's a young South Carolina State freshman coming in, and he comes to you and says, "Hey, Jordan, I want to be successful like you." What advice would you give him?
you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work. It's gonna be plenty of times of adversity. You gotta be able to overcome, and it's gonna be a lot of challenges. But you gotta remember why you're here, and you know what your goal is. You know, you might lose confidence in yourself, but never be down too long. You know, always find yourself. That would be the advice I'd give somebody. You know.
Well, you know, how do you find the strength to overcome adversity when you're down?
Um, just going back to, you know, praying and kind of just taking every day by day. You know, it's been days where I feel like I don't have the confidence, you know, but I always ask the Lord to give me the confidence, you know, and He always does it for me. So I think that's just very, very big, you know, just having faith in the Lord. Like that's been one of my biggest things. You know, 2024 was a hard year for me because like I lost a lot of people in 2024. So it was a hard year for me, but you know, just kind of getting back into, you know, praying and, you know, just kind of reading like little scriptures before I go out to practice and stuff like that. That's helped me throughout, you know, my senior year, my last year. So, yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, and I know that you have really established yourself. I mean, you know, when you see players that you know, peak at the right time, I would say you're peaking at the right time. You're about to head on to the Celebrity Bowl and to the NFL, and we're excited to continue to follow your career. Again, congratulations, and you know, for being part of the Blanchard Rogers Trophy finalist here. I mean, you are no doubt a winner, somebody that has established himself very well grounded. I appreciate you sharing these success tips with us and our audience today. Let me ask you this: what should I have asked you that I didn't?
Maybe my why. Maybe my why.
All right. Well, answer that question for us.
I always have to say my why is, you know, kind of so. In 2024, you know, like that was kind of like a year where like it was a lot of change for me. You know, coming from, you know, starting and being on the field a lot. Now you're going to having to play your role and things like that. Like, you know, straight special teams. Like I think I only had maybe what 8 snaps on offense. You know, but it's okay. But I would have to say my why was kind of just the respect. I felt like I just had to re-earn my respect, and you know, when I did that, I just like it's like my why was complete. You know, I'm still not done. I feel like I still have more respect to earn. But I think respect is probably one of the biggest things in life to have from a person. You know, if a person respects you a lot, that can take you further in life. You know, so.
Absolutely. So, and of course, that's respect starts with yourself, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, again, want to thank you for being here on the Straight Line to Success. Everybody, Jordan Smith.
Thank y'all for having me.
Doing the best they can.
Thank you for listening to the Straight Line to Success. Copyright 2026 Wyatt Sports and Entertainment LLC. All rights reserved. Visit www.tslts.com and join the TSLTS Insider for exclusive content and updates.
Highway and we roll. We're doing the best we can. Everybody do your best. Come on, come on. Do your best. Do your best. The best you can.